Well, welcome, Waylon. We thank you for being here today and for being a part of the Chamber Champion program. We really appreciate it. For those who may not know who you are and what you do in your business, tell us a little bit more about you.
My name is Waylon Biggs, and I own Mid-Arc Insurance here in Maumelle, and we provide an independent insurance service for personal lines, commercial lines. So, being independent, we represent a bunch of different carriers. So, we're independently contracted with those carriers, be it Nationwide or Safeco, Liberty, Progressive, and just a tremendous number of them.
So, a nice one-stop shop where you can find everything.
Yeah, and we're able to do personal lines, which will be your home and auto and renters, along with some landlords and life insurance, be it term or a permanent policy, depending on your preference there. And with commercial, we can do a lot of small businesses, middle market type companies. So if you're a service company, be it like electrical or plumbing or HVAC, or you're releasing out commercial warehouse facilities, or have an ice cream shop, or even a food truck type vendor, we
Yep.
can definitely find products for you.
So, is there anything that you think that the community, Maumelle community, and Maumelle Chambers members might need to know about your business that maybe is not just blatant that they see going on behind the scenes?
Well, I hope that over time, people kind of they tend to understand that we're an insurance agency who you really want to do business with in a genuine way. Like, we want to earn your business, not just by having great products and service and all that kind of stuff, but actually contributing to a healthy community in a good positive way and helping bring you know positivity to where we actually live.
Absolutely. And they actually really do that. It's been great working with them. Anytime I need any help and assistance, I always know to call Mid-Arc Insurance, and I can get that assistance for our
Okay.
community. So tell us, how does being a part of the Maumelle community shape your business?
So, everybody is so macro aligned. Like, they seem to be talking to a very large audience all the time. And with us, we're kind of positioning ourselves as the hometown agency. So I grew up just outside of Maumelle in Marche. Still live there, kind of bounced around to be your neighbor just outside
Mhm.
on Torchville Arm there. And now we're back in Marche. And, growing up here and seeing Maumelle develop from the time that I was a child has really had a big impact on me. I can remember when the Odoms didn't connect,
Mhm.
and there was no overpass there at the railroad crossing,
Mhm.
and there was a T intersection with a stop sign in front of the old Thriftway grocery store, and riding four wheelers in all the woods on the backside towards Palarm and even Marche now, where Dr. Haas's subdivision's gone in.
Yes.
Seeing this area develop, um, that's something that you know I guess we have a personal firsthand experience with, and kind of seeing where it goes from here is important to me. So I want to be a
Absolutely.
part of it.
So, what made you decide to become a chamber member and get involved with the Maumelle Chamber?
Well, you for the
Since
most
a
part.
Marche boy, so
Well, yeah, well, you for the most part. Being that I might not have ever lived in Maumelle proper, right? But this is where my family's always like worked. Growing up, I did excavation with my dad, and he started here in the early '80s, so very tethered to the community in that way. But when you reached out and we connected, and of course we worked at the similar company in the past,
Mhm.
so we kind of knew each other. We were neighbors. I think there's a very big value add with the chamber, and I know that it would cost the city a tremendous amount of money to hire the staff necessary to do the things that you're going to be able to do in this organization. So, I, along with some other of my clients, have jumped on the train, the Kelly
Yes,
train
the
in the
Kelly Train.
chamber, and
Well, I appreciate those
yeah.
words, but just a reminder, it's not all the Kelly Train. There's a team that works behind me
Oh,
very diligently, and a lot of those are volunteers, and so we couldn't get nearly the things that we accomplish with events and just the things that are going on in Maumelle, and it's about to explode here in Maumelle with development and exciting retail,
hmm
and that's just a matter of people who step up, volunteer, like yourself, and help us make those accomplishments come true. So
yeah, and meeting everybody else who has volunteered their time with the chamber, who you seem to have recruited magically here. That's it's a very good way to help grow the city in a way that's going to be really fruitful for everybody
okay.
involved. And by the
So,
way,
since you're a chamber member, I know you've taken on the task of sponsoring quite a few events. So far, what's your favorite event that you've been a part of?
it's hard to really pick a particular event because, I mean, there's so many really good ones. The food truck festival is always a hit. I love it. Usually the weather's, really nice.
Nice, yeah.
But I would say my favorite event is Christmas in the Park. I can't wait to see how that kind of evolves over time. I know, there's little things to work out, but it will continue to get better and better. And I mean, I
Right.
love Christmas time, and I feel like Sometimes judges don't always make the right decision when it comes to like the Mr. Frosty Award. I might still be a little
A
sore
little
about that,
sore,
but
yes, a
we're
little bit.
probably not going to lose again
Yes,
with that one.
make sure of that one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like you too. The Food Truck Festival is such a big event for Central Arkansas. We have over 8,000 people who come into Maumelle, and so that's really neat to see all those people who get to come in and see our beautiful parks and what we have to offer. But the Christmas, I'm like you, it's mostly Maumelle. It's the community coming
Mhm.
together, and we always have that special tree lighting, and we always get to choose somebody really special to light the tree, and that just makes their world, their Christmas holiday, to be able to have one of those little kids get up there and get to flip that light on the
Oh yeah,
switch. And so that's probably one of my favorites as well.
yeah.
So
It
tell
is
us,
pretty special.
anything going on over at MidArc that we need to know about? Any special projects, any products that are coming up that y'all are working on?
Well, products are one thing. I mean, we offer all the things that a person would need if you have a small or medium-sized business for your commercial insurance for sure, as well as your personal lines and all that. But instead of talking about product specific things, I would rather give people the idea of why they should want to do business with us and how we impact the area. Probably one of my favorite things that we do, and it's a marketing thing in a way, but it's a genuine marketing. It's a genuine way to market. So my children go to the Maumelle Charter
Hmm.
Elementary School, and I feel compelled to support the organization. So if I can do that by using some of my marketing dollars that we have allocated, I love to do that. And the way that we really engage with them most is quarterly. We give an award, a cash award, to teachers and support staff. So Maumelle Charter has 4 different campuses. They have the elementary campus, the middle school campus, and high school campus here in Maumelle. They also have the charter school in Scott, which will be closing, I believe, this next school year. We'll see how that works
Right.
out. So what we do is we give a cash bonus to a teacher at each one of those campuses, and then we put the support staff in a pool of people amongst the schools to kind of keep the numbers, the
Yeah.
right way. And we give them a cash bonus quarterly every 9 weeks. That's actually, I think
Wow.
we're handing out checks this coming Wednesday. So
Wow.
prior to spring break.
That's awesome.
And the reason for that too is I really feel like there's a lot of good teachers at that school. I mean, we have some great schools in Central
Hmm.
Arkansas, but that's where my kids go. So I'm trying to help support them in that way. And if we can move the needle on kind of the school pride portion of it, and maybe it encourages the staff to stay a little bit longer and increase their tenure. So we want to try to be a benefit to our local schools in a way. And
Absolutely.
with the Scott Charter School closing next year, we're going to look at it maybe expanding what we can do at the schools here in Maumelle.
Locally.
And I think my twins are going to actually go to pre-K there at IHM, Immaculate Heart there in
Oh,
Marche.
okay.
So we might look at doing something there as well.
Okay, wow, that'll be really neat. Well, we truly appreciate everything that you do for our community. We know that here at the chamber, we couldn't accomplish the things that we're able to get done without people like you, without businesses like you. And so we truly, truly appreciate you being a chamber champion and helping us out.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.